Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Kathleen, and in this video I'm doing my alternate reality TBR. And I saw this video idea, I'm pretty sure, over on Books and Lala's channel. I'll link the video down below. But basically the concept is what books would be on my TBR if I was into different genres than I am. Or if I was a different sort of person than I am. I think we all know this feeling of seeing some books in the bookstore and being very intrigued by them while also thinking that you wouldn't probably actually enjoy them because they don't fall in your wheelhouse. So the books in this video are by no means books that I would never read. Obviously they're on this list for a reason, they are intriguing to me. And so there is a chance that I would potentially pick one of these up someday, but they are books that aren't necessarily directly one of my top genres. Slash, they even might be in one of my genres, but they fell nicely into a prompt anyways. For example, if I was a pure cover buyer is the first prompt. I did adjust some of these prompts to fit me specifically, but this one did come from the original video. And several of the books on this one do fall in my wheelhouse, so they are books that are kind of on my want to buy list. But at the same time, they just have beautiful covers and so fall perfectly within this prompt. So if I were a pure cover buyer, 3 books that I would have picked up on site in the bookstore rather than saw and thought was really beautiful but didn't pick up are Victories Greater Than Death, which I'm pretty sure is a dystopian fiction, which I love dystopia, so would like to pick this one up someday. The Gilded Ones, which is just gorgeous and has a very similar concept, I think, to Red Queen, which I read earlier this year and enjoyed well enough. And then finally, Scattered Showers by Rainbow Rowell. This has a beautiful cover, it has beautiful sprayed edges, it's by one of my favorite authors, but it is a short story collection, and I'm not really into short stories, so I don't know if I'll ever pick this one up or not, but it stands a better chance than most short story collections just because of how beautiful it is and the fact that it's by Rainbow Rowell. The next prompt, originally on Books and Lala's video, was if I was actually a teen, which obviously I am not a teen, so this prompt should theoretically work for me. I am 30. But I am actually still a teen, so I changed the prompt to if I was actually an adult. And if I was actually an adult, I would pick up and read The Underground Railroad. I started watching the TV adaptation for this book and did not enjoy it at all, which has kind of put a damper on my interest in it. My original interest in it was that Colson Whitehead, the author, is my favorite author's favorite author, which of course is intriguing, and I would love to read a Colson Whitehead book someday, but I do have a feeling that his work is kind of gonna go over my head. Another one that I would pick up is Pachinko. I just hear about this one a lot on BookTube, and it does again have a beautiful cover. It is more of an adult serious read, which I don't pick up super often. And then finally for this category, I have The Lincoln Highway. And this one did catch my eye when I heard about it because it takes place from Nebraska, and I'm from Nebraska originally. The next category is if I was into classics. I am not into classics at all. It's very few and far between that I will enjoy a classic. Honestly, the only one I can think of off the top of my head that is like a proper old classic that I actually enjoyed is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, though I did not enjoy similar classics to that like Jekyll and Hyde. But if I was into classics, or I was going to give classics another try, some that I would start with include Don Quixote, which this one is on the list almost exclusively because it's mentioned pretty heavily in my favorite book of all time, The Last Book in the Universe. But I've actually started this one at least once or twice in my life and have never gotten very far into it. First of all, it is a beast. I'm pretty sure it's like 1,000 pages. And yeah, it's just very slow and boring, which is what I tend to find with classics. Another one I would try is Dracula, because the more fantasy, science fiction edge to it might help, much like with Frankenstein. And then finally, Beloved by Toni Morrison. And she's just a huge author that I would like to try at some point. The next category is if I liked graphic novels. I so wish that I was into graphic novels. I like you know, pretty pictures in theory. I see so many beautiful graphic novels around. There are various graphic novel series that I do think I would be interested in. I did read a lot of The Walking Dead purely to see the differences between it and the television show, but overall, I just don't really get into graphic novels. I think there's just not enough words for me. There's not enough meat, not enough to dig into for me personally with graphic novels. Something about flipping through a page every 10 seconds or so is just not satisfying, and I can only look at the artwork for so long. I wish that I did enjoy it more, and some that I would want to try if I was really pushing to get more into them would be Lore Olympus, based purely on how beautiful it is. Again, this would fall under cover by for sure. Pumpkinheads, another Rainbow Rowell one. This one, it's partly Rainbow Rowell, but it's partly the fact that the pumpkin patch that the graphic novel is based on was my pumpkin patch growing up. Like, I went to this pumpkin patch every year for Halloween, sometimes more than once a year, from an extremely young age, like the age of 6. So I am actually pretty much 100% sure going to read this one someday, just purely for that reason. But I just don't expect to really enjoy the graphic novel because I'm not into graphic novels, no matter how much nostalgia it might give me. And then finally, The Dragon Tea Society looks so cute. Like, I want to read it so bad because it just looks like cute overdose. But I have not purchased it because I don't think I would actually enjoy it, no matter how cute it is. And then finally, for my alternate reality TBR, we have If I Was Into Mythology, and specifically Greek mythology. This is another one where I feel like I should be more into it, although it does kind of go along with my distaste for classics, because obviously this is very old writing. But yeah, I'm not typically into a lot of Greek myth retellings or stories that incorporate too much of it. A little bit here and there is fine, but like the Percy Jackson series, for example, I've never gotten into that. But if I was going to try to get more into it, some that I would try would be Witch's Heart, mostly because I hear a lot about this one and it has a kind of cool cover. The Mercies, same thing, cool cover, hear a lot about it. And then finally Stoneblind, mostly because I think of all the Greek myths, I am the most intrigued by Medusa, and I think it would be cool to read a modern retelling of her story. Okay, so a little bit of a turn of events, since a couple days after shooting this video, before I even started editing it, I happened to stop by a thrift store. Wasn't even planning to, just needed to kill some time before picking up some food, and they had the Lincoln Highway for $1, so I picked it up. So I guess now I am officially going to read this book. And that really kind of illustrates my level of interest in the books that were on this video. None of them are books that I'm gonna go out and pay full price for, with the exception of maybe Pumpkinheads. Most of them are not even something that I would necessarily put on a Christmas list, but pretty much all of them, if I saw them for $1 at a thrift store or even $5 on sale at a bookstore, I probably would pick them up. And that is exactly what happened here. So this list is already out of date. But anyways, back to the video that I shot a few days ago for the outro. So that was it for my alternate reality TBR. Some books that I might pick up if I was a different person. Let me know down below if there are any like specific types of books that you wish you were more into but you're just not, and what you might try to get yourself to be more into it. I hope you enjoyed watching. Remember, words matter.